AskReddit by Eva Attaktor. What do you hate most about modern society? How we, as a society, can be wholly aware of every propaganda technique that was used in news media and advertising for the last 100 years, and be aware of the damage that it can do. But if it happens on a social media site, then we lean into it and act like it's some kind of brave stance to take. I've said it again and again. Treat all online comments like it's the 1st of April and you check for sources to verify any major claims. Online misinformation. 2001 video game Metal Gear Solid 2 was exactly right in its techno-punk take on future internet and social media. We are spending enormous amounts of time, energy and resources to save a sea of worthless and incorrect information. This never-ending pile of untrue statements creates chaos within democracy, world politics, the larger scientific and philosophical debate, and much more. I feel like this was really solidified for me when I realized that art is basically the plastic water bottles of the internet. Anything on the internet is there forever is cool when it's niche forum posts from 2004. But every time someone has an AI generate an image or text, it's there forever, clogging up the internet with something that someone spent 10 seconds writing a prompt for before never looking at again. How little people actually know about history. As a bit of a history nerd, 100%. People have no perspective outside of the last 100 years, but society has changed in such a fundamental way in the last 200 years that the average person just cannot comprehend how insane our modern society is. We are extremely disconnected from each other. It doesn't matter that we have technology to connect us, there is something missing when you cannot be face to face, or punched in the face for the shit we put each other through. The normalization of stupidity and selfishness. I blame the internet and social media for a lot of this. Society today is way too online. So many fake people everywhere. One of the worst is what Edward Bernays gave the world. https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/Edward_Bernays . Harnessing propaganda to sell shit. Taught me something new today, thank you. Cost of living. That we keep making the same stupid mistakes as historical society. No, we've got it figured out. By remaining ignorant of the past, we'll be sure to not copy it. That's how the saying goes, I think. Everyone's on their phones all the time. To add to this, everyone is available all the time. There's this societal pressure now to do so as well. Social media's influence on everyone. Everyone wants likes and mass approval from complete strangers to achieve some sort of validation that has no bearing on what makes them a better person. It's all a mirage while our souls starve. Also, the way social media websites, especially Instagram, gives children and teenagers a very unrealistic look into the perfect lives of rich people, which can then cause depression or just negative feelings in general because they don't have it themselves. Working all the goddamn time. I want to work less. Yeah, and even when we don't have work on the weekends, we still have to spend most of the weekends doing other things that we couldn't do on the work days. So, it's like we barely have any time to relax at all. How nobody gives a single fuck about anybody around them. Individualism is an absolute cancer on modern society. It's infected our media and souls, and I am convinced if anything could end the world, it's that. The demonization of education and expertise. And the worship of ignorance and buffoonery. Influencers and subscriptions for everything. Acceptable hatred between groups. Between genders, races, sexualities, etc. It's just become kind normal again to actively insult those of a different group than you. It's always been acceptable to make insulting jokes. What's changed is now, instead of just being jokes like say 20 years ago, a lot of people seriously believe these things again. that success is still measured by money. I just think there are so many more important things in life. There are other things that are important, but I'd argue that money is the most important thing for good reason. It's potential energy, convertible to almost anything. It's a ticket to happiness, health, freedom, and peace of mind. And furthermore, once you have it, people can't really take it away. It erases mistakes, opens doors. True, you can't buy love, but it's certainly easier to find love with money than without it. No sense of community anymore. Seems like everyone is really rude to those they don't know. How much we have to work to provide basic necessities. I'm tired. Surprised I had to scroll so much for this. In my opinion, cost of living should considered the worst thing about modern society. From this stems so many other blights. It used to be that if you worked hard even as a damn milkman, you could have a slice of the dream. Now every has gotta have a bunch of side hustles or cohabited with someone who does. As I scroll through these comments, I agree with many of them. But the first thing that came to mind on reading the OP is that I really hate how common courtesy and common sense seem to have disappeared from society. It's regularly disappointing to me. Common sense has never existed. The internet has made idiots easier to find. The fact that the world has progressed to the point that everyone's basic needs could easily be met, yet hundreds of thousands of people die from starvation and easily preventable diseases every year. John Green's essay crusade about tuberculosis is the apex of this discussion. Hookup culture that supports the fact that another human being can be easily disposable. Shit plagues colleges. That a majority of our news is about two old men and billionaire man children. The destruction of the natural world. It's a reflection of our values. I'm not saying we should just live in the woods, but we could do a lot better than we are. We destroyed the world, but for one brief moment we created a lot of shareholder value. We defend the very things that will be the end of us. Social media and smartphone obsession.